outbreak, 75 million Americans in the path. At least 3 dozen twisters touching down, 2 of them barreling right into storm chasers. Our Rob Marciano also in the storm zone. The forecast with the dangerous 1-2 punch. Hero speaks out. For the first time, we're hearing from that football coach who tackled a student armed with a shotgun at school. Plus, new details about that alleged teenage gunman and what may have set him off. Times Square fire, the giant billboard burning in the tourist mecca. Firefighters working to stop the blaze from spreading in the landmark location. Biden's pledge, the 2020 race heating up. Former Vice President Joe Biden telling Democrats he won't be the angry candidate and separating himself from the president on illegal immigration. What he told our reporter when asked if there's a crisis at the border. Plus, the disturbing charges against a New York City police officer. She's accused of hiring a hitman to kill her estranged husband and her boyfriend's daughter, what we're now learning. And Arnold attacked. The wild moment caught on camera. Former governor and Terminator Arnold Schwarzenegger talking with fans when suddenly he's drop-kicked from behind. His condition tonight.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Tom Yamas. And we begin tonight with the dangerous tornado outbreak. 75 million Americans in the severe storm path. These stunning images shot by storm chasers actually inside of a tornado crashing across Nebraska, showing the fury and power of that system. At least 3 dozen tornadoes reported in the last 24 hours alone across 5 states. And residents in Geronimo, Oklahoma, look at that, assessing the extensive damage there. And our live radar here showing where those intense storms are hitting right now. ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano in the storm zone tonight, starting us off.
Tonight, millions in the path of a dangerous storm system that spawned dozens of reported tornadoes across the central U.S. Widespread damage from a tornado this morning in Abilene, Texas. Trees downed and this roof collapsed.
Neighbors' houses are gone. All the power lines are gone.
This water tower leaking after being punctured during a supercell storm that triggered a tornado in nearby Ballinger. And in Geronimo, Oklahoma, residents surveying the damage from a dangerous EF2, packing winds over 110 miles per hour. Roofs ripped from homes, trees uprooted, and power lines scattered in the path. And in Fort Smith, Arkansas,
here it comes.
Residents there forced to rush to safety as sirens blare, warning of the incoming danger. To the west, a close call for these veteran storm chasers.
Yes, it's touching down!
A tornado in western Nebraska late Friday, nearly sweeping them away.
Tornado!
Fortunately escaping unscathed. This car narrowly avoiding a tornado in Mineola, Kansas. Lightning strikes illuminating the twister doing the damage.
Hello? Can anybody hear me?
People frantically searching for anyone who might be trapped in damaged homes.
Hello?
Not far away, this tractor trailer knocked over onto its side.
It just now knocked the semi over.
Good Samaritans running to free the driver with the tornado just behind them. And tonight, this region gearing up for another dangerous round of severe weather set to hit within 48 hours.
Incredibly dangerous conditions out there. Rob Marciano joining us now from a spillway near Fort Worth. And these storms not only responsible for tornadoes, but also dangerous flash floods. And the threat really, Rob, is not over yet.
Right. No, it's not, Tom. Wind and water, as you can see behind me. The Army Corps of Engineers releasing some of this water, opening the floodgates. It's pouring out of here at 2,300 cubic feet per second. So much power in this water and so much more to come. The rain that came through here just a few moments ago was really torrential. Here's the line on the radar, and we are still under a tornado watch, especially points east of the Dallas area, with that line now pushing through Little Rock. And severe thunderstorm watches up, extending into parts of Missouri. Then overnight tonight into tomorrow, we get into Chicago, Detroit, Pittsburgh. These are some big cities, Tom, that could very well see some damaging storms tomorrow afternoon.
Rob, so much happening right now. We just saw it there, but you're also tracking the potential for another potential severe weather outbreak in the beginning of the week.
Very active pattern, Tom. We're going to reset things for as soon as Monday. Take a look at this. And right here in Tornado Alley, the likelihood of seeing some storms that could produce large, long-track, destructive tornadoes Monday into Tuesday. And, of course, that system pushes off to the east as well. Very active pattern going forward. Tom?
All right, Rob, you and your team stay safe. Next, we're learning much more tonight about the brave actions in Portland, Oregon that likely averted another school shooting tragedy. A hero coach speaking out tonight And the suspected gunman, you see him there, tackled and wrestled to the ground by that coach who was also a security guard at Parkrose High. Officials say they seized the shotgun from the troubled 18-year-old student. Here's ABC's Marcy Gonzalez.
Police in Oregon telling us tonight this is the student who walked into a high school classroom armed with this shotgun.
I was running. I didn't know if I was going to get shot in my back or not. I was running crisscross. It was terrifying. It was really terrifying.
The suspect identified as 18-year-old Angel Diaz, a senior at Parkrose High School, sending classmates running for cover. The campus put on lockdown.
We all hid. We hid under clothes and stuff too, just in case anything would happen.
But before anyone was hurt, a brave staff member stepping in. Head football coach Keenan Lowe using the skills he teaches on the field, tackling the suspect, holding him until officers arrived. Breaking his silence tonight, tweeting that when he took the job, I did so to guide and coach young people whose shoes I had once been in. I had no idea that I would one day have to put my life on the line like I did yesterday for my students. Adding, when confronted with the test the universe presented me with, I didn't see any other choice but to act. Thank God I passed.
He's very passionate in whatever he does. And I really thank him a lot.
Tonight, police saying nothing about a motive, but friends believe Diaz was depressed.
He went through a pretty rough breakup that kind of got to him. Today, he was a bit more intense about it.
And while his classmates head to prom tonight, Diaz is in police custody facing several charges, including attempting to discharge a firearm at a school and reckless endangerment. Tom?
So much credit goes to that hero coach. All right, Marcy, thank you. Next to the race for the White House, it is heating up tonight. Former Vice President Joe Biden on familiar turf in his native state of Pennsylvania, calling for national unity at a campaign rally and a kickoff rally, saying he won't be the angry Democrat in this race. ABC's Stephanie Ramos reporting from Philadelphia tonight.
Former Vice President Joe Biden officially kicking off his 2020 presidential campaign in Philadelphia. In his classic aviators, Biden taking the stage before an estimated 6,000 people.
The single most important thing we have to accomplish is defeat Donald Trump.
Biden calling the president the divider in chief while making his pitch to unite the country.
I know some of the really smart folks say Democrats don't want to hear about unity. They say Democrats are so angry that the angrier a candidate can be, the better chance he or she has to win the Democratic nomination. Well, I don't believe it.
Biden says he'll provide a path for all Americans.
I'm running to know for our country, Democrats, Republicans, and independents, a different path. Not back to a path that never was, but to a future that fulfills our true potential as a country.
His primary opponents have criticized Biden for being too moderate.
I think if you look at Joe's record and you look at my record, I don't think there's much question about who's more progressive.
Voters weighing their options.
In a primary, I might vote for him. I'm just not sure yet.
I like a lot of things a lot of the different Democrats have said. I'm an independent. I believe that Joe Biden is the only one who has a chance to get to 270 Electoral College votes.
And just after the rally, I asked him about one of President Trump's key issues, illegal immigration.
Do you think there is a crisis at the border?
No, I think the crisis at the border is where they're treating people who are seeking asylum. There should be a process for them.
And Stephanie Ramos joins us now live from the site of that rally in Philadelphia. Biden also making Pennsylvania the home of his headquarters. He knows how important that battleground state is, a state President Trump won in 2016.
That's exactly right, Tom. Pennsylvania is a key state. President Obama took the state twice. And President Trump, as you said, did win in 2016, but by less than 1%. And he plans to hold a rally of his own right here in Pennsylvania on Monday. As for Biden, his team tells me he plans to travel to Florida, Tennessee, and Texas in the coming weeks. All three states, President Trump won as well. Tom.
Stephanie Ramos on the campaign trail for us tonight. Stephanie, thank you. Next to the raging debate over abortion rights and new confusion about what's legal in certain states. This following an emotional vote yesterday by the Missouri House of Representatives to ban abortions after 8 weeks on the heels of even stricter new measures in Alabama. At least half a dozen women's rights groups planning a nationwide day of protest on Tuesday. This new law and the backlash drawing intense new battle lines in the days ahead. Here's ABC's David Wright.
Today, as more states dial back abortion rights, the vice president himself addressed the issue in a commencement speech.
I couldn't be more proud to be part of an administration that has stood strong and stood without apology for the sanctity of human life.
On Friday, Missouri became the 8th state this year to enact strict new restrictions on abortion. Other states may soon follow suit. Even before some of those new laws take effect, there is now confusion and fear at women's health centers in these states.
We actually have had many people calling saying, are you all open? Are you still seeing patients? Is abortion now illegal?
The backers of these bills hope to test the issue in court, challenging the constitutional right established by the landmark Roe v. Wade decision.
There's going to be challenges to this. You all know this all started in 1973. There's going to be court challenge to this issue throughout the years to come.
The other side is not going to give up without a fight. The debate comes down to the philosophical question of when exactly human life begins and whether that should limit the rights of pregnant women over their own bodies. Missouri and Alabama offer no exception for rape and incest. In both states, doctors who perform abortions could go to jail.
I will not violate the law, but what I do know is that there are people who will need abortion care, whether it is legal or illegal.
Some of these new state laws are too extreme, even for some of the folks who want to see some limits placed on abortion. Among them, quite possibly, the president himself. Today, a senior Trump campaign official told us that the president has on multiple occasions said that he favors exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. Tom?
David Wright for us tonight. David, thank you. And this programming note, more on the abortion rights debate in the 2020 presidential race tomorrow morning on This Week. Be sure to tune in. Now to the stunning accusations against a New York City police officer accused of hiring a hitman to not only kill her estranged husband, but her boyfriend's teenage daughter as well. Here's ABC's Maggie Rulli.
Tonight, new details in an alleged murder-for-hire plot that's landed a decorated NYPD officer behind bars. 34-year-old Valerie Cincinnelli, a 12-year veteran of the force, is accused of asking her boyfriend to hire a hitman to kill both her estranged husband and the boyfriend's own daughter.
Didn't see that one coming, that's for sure. I mean, we all have problems in our relationships, right?
Authorities claim Cincinnelli's boyfriend was cooperating with the FBI, recording their conversations. Cincinnelli's boyfriend telling her the murders would cost $7,000. The criminal complaint paints a chilling picture. Cincinnelli allegedly saying her ex's murder would not look suspicious because the murder would take place in the hood or the ghetto. And when her boyfriend said the hitman didn't want to kill his daughter near a school, Cincinnelli allegedly responded, "Run her the expletive over. How about that?" As part of an FBI ruse, detectives went to Cincinnelli's house to say her husband had been murdered, even showing her fake crime scene photos. Cincinnelli then allegedly contacted her boyfriend to discuss an alibi.
I guarantee you my daughter is innocent of this.
Cincinnelli's father is defending his daughter, saying her boyfriend set her up.
This guy that she's involved with is a wacko psycho. This is the second time he's had her arrested.
Tom, authorities say those murders were supposed to have happened last weekend, but now Officer Cincinnelli is being held behind bars without bail. Tom?
Maggie, thank you. Next to the out-of-control joyride captured on police dash cam. The man who police had just stopped stealing an officer's patrol car, leading authorities on a long, wild, and dangerous chase. ABC's Diane Macedo with how it all ended.
It's a scene worthy of a double take. Florida troopers with guns pointed at their own cruiser, but the man inside is no cop. Police say the incident started Thursday afternoon when Highway Patrol tried to help 22-year-old Shane Jensen, found walking along the Florida Turnpike shirtless and barefoot. But after about 20 minutes, the suspect jumps into the patrol car.
Hey, where you going? Hey, where you going? Hey!
Then as traffic forces him to stop, the officers approach, guns drawn. But as they try to open the car door, he takes off again, speeding down the shoulder until he's blocked by police cruisers. Still, he refuses to stop, instead turning around, crossing the divider, and driving off in the opposite direction. He speeds past car after car, allegedly hitting 140 miles per hour before swerving to avoid police stop sticks. He seems to lose control, driving onto the grass and slamming into the guardrail. But this chase still isn't over. The suspect runs out of the car, over the guardrail, across the highway, and disappears into the woods. Police finally arrested the suspect in the woods 15 minutes later.